Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Donington Part 2. Let's go! So as I said in the intro, we're going to be talking about Donington Part 2. If you don't know what I'm on about, this is the Britcar GT Racing Endurance Championship that we're following with the Army Sports Car Racing Team. I'll put a link up here and a link in the description below if I remember. I'm basically covering the Army Sports Car Racing Team, which is a discipline under the Army Motorsports umbrella, and this particular fraction of the Army Sports Car Racing Team is following the Britcar Championship, which involves drivers, mechanics, pit crew, team principal, and the whole shebang driving a Ginetta G55. And like I said, I'll put a link up above. Before we actually go any further, as per usual when I'm in the studio, and welcome back to the studio because it's been a while, here I have a Hot Wheels car, and it's a new one for me, and there's not a chance you're going to guess what that is. Some people are going to say it's a Porsche, some people are probably going to say it's an old RX-7. Not a chance you're getting that unless you can pause it, zoom in. So do that now, have a gander. This right here is a lush car. I used to see one of these when I was little on the way to school, and they are very, very few and far between. So yeah, class Hot Wheels. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. If you're new to this channel, what I'm doing here is an after action review. I've done it for the previous rounds. The previous round that just happened is Donington. The reason why I say it's part 2 is because it's round 5, lots of numbers here, round 5, and it's the second time that we've been there, because the first time was round 1. Excuse me, got a bit of man flu, the tail end of man flu, and also, apologies, I've got kit everywhere. I'm supposed to be going, well not supposed to be, I am going to Snetterton for round 6, so Snetterton part 2, part 1 of Snetterton was round 4, oh my god, so many numbers, and I'll link that up here. That was a good race, but full of dramas. So yeah, this is going to be an after action review of Donington part 2. Fairly quick, I would assume, because a lot of the themes and things that I say are fairly similar to Donington part 1, which was round 1 of the after action review. Anyway, camera that I'm using, no change. Got the R5 Mark II that's right next to me here that you can't really see. I need to pack shortly. Got the R5 Mark II, and I've also got the R5 Mark I. I usually use a 24-70 and a 70-200, and depending on the track, I might use a 100-400, but it's a bit annoying because it's the EF lens. And I'm currently charging loads of batteries at the moment as well, not that you can see, but batteries everywhere, ready for tonight. There's a little sticker here, if you don't know what I was on about with the Ginetta. This is what the Ginetta looks like. These stickers are not available yet unless you went to a race meet, but yeah, my ADHD just went wild then. I saw it, and I thought, yeah, I'll just show you guys what the G55 is, even though I could have just showed you some footage. Anyway, so yeah, we arrived late Thursday to Donington. We're back to normal race formats. So round 1, it was a normal race format, and round 2 as well was a normal race format. All the drivers were there for Alton Park. So what I mean by a normal race format is you have arrive Thursday, up early doors Friday, you have a free practice, which is like an hour, sorry, you have a test day, which is usually like 4 25-minute sessions or something like that on the Friday, and then on the Saturday you usually have race brief first thing in the morning, like scrutineering. You'll have an hour's free practice, quali, then the race. But some of the races, what we haven't had is the hours free practice in the morning of the Saturday morning, which is not always good because, well, it's never really good because you always want to have the car and the drivers warmed up back in the mindset of the specific day of the racing. And the last time we went to Donington, I was thinking of Snetterton then, but even though I'm not doing after action review Snetterton because I'm doing that later. Snetterton's also a different format to what we did on the last Snetterton, but these two Doningtons were fairly similar, so I'll ignore that. But anyway, what happened? What am I even doing? Donington, Snetterton tonight. geez, Donington round 2, cool, truck fest, there we go. So back to not having a free practice. So let's get that right. We didn't have a free practice because of the trucks. God, my brain just went a bit wild then. We've got a normal format. I've just done the questions and everything for tonight or for Friday. Today's Thursday. Wow, this is a lot of waffle. Anyway, back to Donington. Didn't have a free practice. It was a bit of a nightmare. However, let's go right back to the start. So Thursday arrived. Everybody stayed in a hotel apart from me. I stayed in my roof tent because it's just easier, more convenient for myself. It means I can go and do track walk and stuff like that on my own and get some footage of the track, obviously. And it just means I can chill and think about stuff that I need to do over the weekend rather than be with the guys. As good as it sounds, be with the guys and drinking and stuff like that, I need my head to be in the correct mindset, shall we say, because I'm there to work and not to get drunk. Not that the guys get drunk, you know what I mean. So anyway, Thursday, short sharp, up Friday, went for a track walk, I believe Friday. It's getting pretty busy already because of the truck fest stuff that's happening that weekend. It was called, because of the truck fest that weekend, it was called Convoy in the Park, if I remember rightly. The guys were also going to be doing Engage to Recruit weekend, which means they do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whereas usually we just do Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So the trucks were building up on the infield. So Friday morning, Friday was test day. Now, for whatever reason, probably because it's quite a fast circuit, Donington is renowned for red flags, and red flags there were many, 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 which isn't great when I'm trying to get as much footage as I can. One thing that was quite good to go to Donington was the fact that I've obviously already been there, so I know what will work and what won't work, or what is better to get with the little time that I have to chase myself around the track. But trying to get some footage when there's lots of red flags is not always ideal. One good thing, because I've already been to Donington, is that I knew some of the places that might work and might not work, or it gave me enough chance to recce parts that I might not have done before, which is also a good point of saying about doing a track walk, is to get some spots for the race day that I might not have got if I hadn't obviously done a recce. And some of the spots that were really good was the chicane, because it was the shorter track, and I managed to get myself in a nice little area through a fence. Somehow nobody was there. I don't understand how there's nobody there, but hey ho, it was a good, I thought anyway, it was a good position to shoot through the fence, get pretty close to the track without having to be accredited. So like I said, Friday was fairly uneventful, should we say. So Friday evenings we did the interviews. Got some good interviews actually, I thought. It's good to lean on the return to Donington, shall we say. I thought I did alright with that one. Shot the guys outside with the lighting, and the sun actually looked really good, I thought. Still trying to work on colours with some of the guys. I think it might just be a skin tone thing, but some of the guys have got much redder skin than others, but that's something I need to work on with in DaVinci, and try and sort out colour matching between C-Log 2 and C-Log 3 if I forget to put them both on C-Log 3, which I believe I did last time. But anyway, they looked alright, usually good. And what I usually do for my interview lenses as well, I usually change them out just for the interviews, is my main key, if you want to call it that, because a key light. My main A cam is my 24mm 1.4 Sigma Art, which is EF, and then I also use the 50mm 1.2 RF lens for my B cam. And like I said, I just have my R5 II and my R5 Mark 1. So that was interviews. So race day, race morning. It was a good weekend weather-wise, shall we say. That's good. We're all excited for a good race weekend. We thought that this was going to be the one with podiums. Not that anybody wanted to talk about it, but we all thought this was going to be the weekend. We didn't have any dramas. We didn't think there was going to be any dramas. The thing was, everybody looked fast, as in the competitors, so it's hard to judge whether we were really good or just in amongst the field. We just wanted to finish without the car braking, without coming off, and just be consistent, which is the aim of the game with the Endurance Championship, is to be consistent because there's such long races. So it's down to race day. Quali was good. Oh, we'll go back a little bit. Race briefs first thing in the morning. I haven't had any race brief footage, so it's good to get some different footage. Every weekend I try and get something slightly different so that the viewers, you guys and girls, of the documentary series are not seeing the same thing all the time. So I try and get various different things like scrutineering or the team brief or tyre, I was going to say tyre shredding, tyre shaving, that sort of stuff. Just random bits and pieces that are different for each episode to mix it up a bit. Did the team briefs. Then we go to no free practice because it was Truck Fest, and straight into quali. JC was doing quali and he put in some really, really good times, to be honest. We were hoping to get 1 minute 12s, and he got a 1 minute 10.8 or 10.9. But the trouble was, the rest of the competitors, there must have been like 5 or 6 cars bunched up within like the tenths of a second, so everybody was in the same boat. So although we didn't qualify right up in a podium position, JC did put a stellar performance in and a really good quality time, which brings us on to the race. So one thing to note is that JC hasn't done quali since Spa, so it's a bit of a nervous day for him, a bit more pressure on him, which, like I said, he did well. Anyway, I just wanted to put that in there, that you got to factor in the Spa mindset, and it's the first time he did a rolling start, because he was also starting a race. First time he did a rolling start other than Citroen C1 Championship, so completely different racing start with a rolling start with GT cars everywhere. So yeah, that's one thing that he did point out. So yeah, I could only imagine what it would be like in that tight cockpit, absolutely sweating out, nerves going, everything rattling around, loud as hell. So yeah, God knows what that would be like. Anyway, race started really well. He did a really good stint. I think he did about half an hour, I want to say. Loads of safety cars, annoyingly, until everybody keeps calling it a gremlin. Loads of people kept on saying gremlin. So it was a drama. We don't know what it was. Something within the ECU probably, or fueling, where there's some sort of stutter, and JC thought it was underpowered, so brought the car in because he didn't want anything to be a big drama, didn't want to accentuate any mechanical issues that the car might be facing. So he brought it in, which was good. But before that, there was a safety car, and almost everybody pitted apart from us. There was only like 5 cars, I think it was, that didn't pit. So what you want to try and do is pit under safety car to try and gain an advantage of time, and we didn't do it the first time around because we were hoping that we were going to time it so that when JC and Josh swapped over, it would be under safety car. So anyway, because we had this gremlin and JC brought it in, Josh jumped in, but he was only in the car for maybe 10-15 minutes before another safety car came out, one of many, and it was because of fueling and stuff like that. It was Ted's team principal's decision to get Will in to do the last stint. Everybody was very apologetic to Josh, and he took it like a champ, no dramas whatsoever. Jumped out, Will jumped in. I think he would have had like 40 minutes left, I think. But when Will jumped in for the pit stop under safety car, that's another reason why they swapped over, because the safety car was out and he didn't want to miss out again. The guys and girls, under muscle memory and constant practicing of the pit stops and a scenario and a strategy that they always do, they refueled under safety car, which is a big no-no for the Britcar rules. So they received a 60-second penalty, which Will was not best pleased about, shall we say. A 60-second penalty on a track where it's only 1 minute and 12 seconds a lap during race pace, plus coming into the pits and then leaving the pits, it's over 60 seconds. You're looking at over 1 lap you've lost. You just lost the lap. So that was not ideal, but when you work out the times, the guys genuinely believe that it would have been a podium, 3rd if not 2nd place in our class, which is a bitter pill to swallow due to just unfortunate mistakes. There's a lot of stuff going on during, it feels like when you're not a team principal, I'm not a team principal obviously, so I can't say what it's like to be a team principal, but my understanding is when you're in the garage and you're not making all the decisions, an hour and a half can take a long time. But when you're in amongst it, especially when I'm doing videography, an hour and a half just flies by, and every split decision is just, your head's just constantly like that. And I've heard people mention this before in YouTube videos that I've seen during GT racing. Everybody says that these longer races just absolutely fly by. So yeah, God knows what it's like for Ted, but it was through no fault of his own. He just made a mistake. Anyway, Will basically had to try and gain some places and increase the positions and hope that other people went out off the track or broken down or whatever, which some people did, and we gained some extra places. I cannot remember where we finished. I think it was either 6th or 7th, but we gained some valuable points. I don't know, because they haven't finished doing all of the points yet because of some dramas from previous rounds, but not 100% where we are. I think we're mid-pack within the whole championship out of like 40 odd. So we'll see after this one. But like I said earlier, I am sorting all of my kit out at the moment. So feel like, and JC mentioned it in a previous interview, feel like Snetterton tonight is unfinished business for sure. But it was storming yesterday, and I'm travelling up this afternoon / this evening for free practice tomorrow. Not free practice, test day tomorrow. So today looks like it's going to be absolutely smashing it down with rain, like loads and loads of rain. Tomorrow for practice, a test day, sorry, it looks like it's going to be really good weather, really nice, so it should dry the track out. And then Saturday for race day looks like it's going to be showers, which means I need to try and get my camera wet weather gear out, which I haven't used yet this season. Somehow all season I've had dry races apart from Spa, but I got a little bit, to be fair, I did get wet in Spa, but not as much as I think I'm going to get wet this weekend, but we'll see. Somehow we haven't had it this year. So yeah, that's it. That's pretty much all I can remember, to be honest. I've like I said at the start, I've got a bit of man flu and my brain is a bit smashed. I go back to work in 4 or 5 days, 5 days, yeah, off the top of my head. I don't call this Britcar stuff work. It is my pleasure. But yeah, that's enough waffle. That's pretty much it. Please comment below any questions. I feel like I've missed out quite a bit for this particular after action review, but that's because it was, other than the pit stop and refueling under pit stop, it was pretty good, no dramas race, shall we say. But I'm really looking forward to Snetterton. Like I said, it's unfinished business, and we're back to all 3 drivers doing all of the practice. The car performs really well on Snetterton. I just hope that the rain doesn't cause any dramas on Saturday. But yeah, this should go out this Saturday coming, whilst I'm filming the racing. So apologies that I may not be in the comments. I'll probably be travelling back, to be fair, travelling back from Snetterton. But anyway, wish me luck in my roof tent in the rain. That's pretty much it. Comment below, all that good stuff. What you thought about the episodes I've done so far, what you think about kit, equipment. Just ask me any questions. I do like engagement in comments. I don't have that many subscribers at the moment for whatever reason, I don't really get that much engagement in the comments, so feel free to get in the comments and engage. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, all of those cool things, and I shall catch you in the next one.